Welcome to another episode of the Sam Pais Show. My name is Victor Escalante. I'm the show host and producer. And joining me in the studio is the man of the hour, Sam Pais. Sam, say hi to our listeners. We've been off the air because of the disruption with the hurricane, but we're back in the driver's seat.
And we're back in the saddle, back in action. The lights are on, brother.
That's right.
Motel 6. Hey, we're leaving the lights on.
What a couple of weeks.
My God.
After the hurricane and politics. Talk about the presidential election, Sam. What are people telling you on the street? What are your thoughts on it?
Well, I talk to a lot of people on a daily basis, and I stay in touch with a lot of my friends from school and just a lot of people contractors that I work with in doing their books and stuff. And we're talking about it. And the first thing a lot of people, she's a woman, can she run the country and everything? I was raised by my mother and my grandmother in the Latino market, and as being the oldest son, grandson, nephew, and having those strong women, the Margaret Thatchers, I call them, I think America is ready for a woman to run this country. Now, the world, that's a different thing with Iran and all these countries that really don't respect women the way that America, we start considering women as equals. But I believe we're ready for a woman. Now, is it Kamala Harris? I've yet to see all her points and what she's doing. But what I did see this morning about childcare, coming to Houston to talk to the teachers, as me and Victor were talking about, I think those are some real strong points. And I think there might just be a race now.
Sam, let's put the context of why we're discussing this. You have prepared taxes and been a business consultant through several presidents. And you've seen the policy in Republican presidents, and you've seen the policy in Democratic presidents. And you see how the tide fluctuates and how business is done differently depending on whoever is in office. Now, talk to our listeners, those that are concerned about if we go another 4 years with a Democratic president in the event that Kamala Harris wins the election, how would that affect business? It's like, in your experience, what do people need to know or be prepared for?
First of all, I just think that we really need to start in prayer and ask God for wisdom to understand what's going on in these times. When I first started in business, the natural word was change. And then as years went by, paradigm shift came in. And now it's pivot. Everybody pivot. So, following the different elections, different parties, with Bill Clinton, of course, it was selling your home up to $500,000 and paying zero taxes. Looking at Obama, I sold a lot of Obamacare, depending whether you vote or you don't vote, you look at whatever the party is really trying to move in the country to promote. And that's how I've aligned my businesses behind some of these presidents. And so I think with Kamala Harris, there's going to be a lot of policies in the women. I think women should open up businesses. There's going to be plenty of opportunity for the minority as a woman. A lot of opportunity with the state, with the federal government to get some of these contracts. And I believe she's going to open that door for a lot of women in general, as far as business, education, and looking at childcare. I think those are the industries that we should look at.
There's been a study done by UT, and what this study showed is that Latinos are the number one demographic that is starting up more businesses, even at their micro businesses, chirroqueros, construction workers, plumbing, concrete, you name it. The Latinos are starting more businesses, and a big chunk of that is women. So I think you're absolutely right in that if there is policy made for women childcare, women healthcare, that she's going to win the election because it's a populist a policy on the other end of the spectrum. Okay, we've had Trump with pro business, pro men, pro everything, and you know that in politics the pendulum swings. It swings from one end of the spectrum to the other. And I'm really glad that I'm really encouraged by your answer in that we gotta pray to God for direction because He's in charge. It's like you're a man of faith. You've been up, you've been down, but your faith has never wavered. You've seen Him deliver you through difficulties. And I think we're in a stage in the country that we need to pray and we need to act in accordance with our prayers, to be peacemakers. What are your thoughts?
I believe so. I'm a strong believer in Christ and faith. And my mom and my grandmother, they raised me to have the right morals. Now, whether we follow those morals all the way to the end, that's another thing. But we always come back after getting in trouble or having our issues, whether in business, personal life. You always reflect back to what you learned when you were a child and that raising. And this what models you or makes you from the time you're born to about 12 years old before you become independent, like 7 Habits of Highly Effective People say.
Yes.
You become independent, and then there's one more step, being interdependent. But I really believe this is a time in America that men and women are looking at each other as equals. And women are now forced to go to work. I mean, when I was being raised by my mom and my grandmother stayed at home, but not that they didn't work. They either were making lunches or giving people rides. I always say that my mom and my grandmother were the first Uber, Airbnb, and the taco house in Houston. So they were always doing something to sell, to offset some of this income that the men weren't able to fill the house, and that was the little abundance that we had extra at home. But I really believe this is a time that our economy is really looking to really powerhouse the struggle between men and women and really putting them at an equal pace. And I think this is what Kamala Harris is about to do here in America, is put a light on a lot of stuff that women are doing on the background and haven't been promoted, haven't been patted on the back about a great job. I mean, taking care of the kids. I tell people all the time, don't be coming home and say, where's dinner? What you do all day when you got 4 or 5 kids in that home.
Exactly.
That's a job, man.
Exactly.
So I just think it's a real change in America. When Biden was in it, I was looking at Donald Trump to really pull off the races and win. But this morning, like I say, I really took a hearing to what Kamala Harris was saying. And I really respect her as a woman and the position that she's been put in. And so, to the best person to win.
I did extensive research for another podcast that I do. And today's discussion was the political race. And I want to get your thoughts on this. We know, and you've been saying this for years, that the Latino is going to be the next big wave of economic growth. Texas is dependent on the Latino economic engine to continue to grow. Texas is the fastest producer, the number one producer of jobs and the number one growth state. That's why so many companies are relocating here. And it takes labor. So immigration, if it's done right, is a good thing. But again, it can't put excessive force on the system. Otherwise, you have a breakdown. You have a breakdown in the educational system because the education system cannot absorb so many immigrant children. Or you have cheapened wages because undocumented workers are having to practically do jobs at half price. And so that affects the economy. You're listening to The Senpai Show. We'll be right back.
¿Estás buscando soluciones efectivas para crecer y prosperar en tu empresa? Entonces, LMS Solution es para ti. Con nuestra plataforma innovadora puedes crear, administrar y seguir el progreso de tus programas de capacitación en línea de manera eficiente y fácil, desde el reclutamiento hasta el desarrollo del personal. Ofrecemos una solución integral para tus necesidades de formación. Visita nuestra página web hoy mismo en lmsolutionsdx.com y comienza a optimizar el aprendizaje en tu empresa. Nuestra plataforma es como si tuvieras todo un equipo de personal, tecnología a tu alcance. Visítanos hoy.
Hey Tony, why the long face? You look like your dog just died.
Damn, am I that obvious? I just found out that I owe the IRS over $50,000 in back taxes. And I don't know what I'm going to do. My credit is already in the tank and I have exhausted my reserves after my business went south.
Well, if I were you, I would call Sam Pais with LMS Solutions. I just heard him say on his podcast that he helped one of his clients with a tax liability of $1 million settle for $9,000.
Man, if I could get out from under this big weight, I could get a fresh start rather than close my business and still owe the IRS.
So what are you waiting for? I hear your first consultation is free. I have his number here, 281-977-6572, or you can go to his website lmssolutionstx.com.
I'm on it. I'm calling him right now. There's a reason why I keep you around. You know a lot about business. You made my day. How about we grab some lunch? Of course it's on me.
I'm glad to help out. What are friends for? You need to subscribe to the Sam Pais Show. He now has tips on Mondays and Wednesdays to help you grow your business.
You have made one new subscriber. Let's go. I'm starving.
Call LMS Solutions today. 281-977-6572. You will be glad you did for the rest of your life.
We now return you to the Senpai Show. And I know you're very pro-business and very pro-common sense. What are your thoughts about a Democratic presidency that really focuses on growth in Latinos and empowering Latinos, and as we've already covered, women?
Right. I think we're really divided right now about the job markets with African Americans, Latinos, and Anglos all together. And you're actually right. We're the largest ethnic group in Texas now as far as the Latino movement. And so you're talking about generally all the junior highs, high schools, elementaries are predominantly Latino now.
Yes.
And so, we have to work as leaders in the community, making sure that the jobs are going to be for those future generations coming in. I got a bunch of youth that I've hired, high school, maybe 1 or 2 years in college. I do have some accountants that have master's degrees in accounting, but for the most part, I'm hiring people that maybe aren't going to go to college, and I'm teaching them to become tax preparers, insurance agents, real estate agents, mortgage brokers, because I have that experience. And with the software, I'm teaching them about AI and how to use AI on different platforms to create commercials and just landing pages within 5 minutes, just using 3 or 4 different AI programs to put there. So some of these students are saying, man, Sam, you're a baby boomer and you're teaching us how to do this. I said, well, I'm a business owner with products and services to move. You guys are just now getting in without a service or a product to sell. So I'm trying to teach them, hey, take this product of mine for information like the IRS problem. I just did a 5-minute commercial with a young lady, didn't know nothing about AI, and we got her on 11 Lab, and she created a voice. And then we went to Chat GPT and created a script for the offer and compromises. We took that script, put it back on 11 Lab, and now the voiceover copied everything from the Chat GPT. Then we took it to Mid-Journey that created the whole picture diagram without what are they called, where they design and they create the images there. We did everything in 5 minutes, and we were fixing to load it up to LinkedIn and Facebook. And the students were looking at me like, wow, this is wild, Sap. But it's up to us, the leaders, the generation now. Yeah, we grew up in manual stages, but it's all automation now. And my future, these kids, my future are my kids and my grandkids, that I want to make sure that they're ready for this next elevation that Texas or the Latino market is fixing to face. And so I think it's an incredible time that we're living in business opportunity that's no longer picking the fruit or going out and digging ditches or doing anything. I believe that we're in that service industry, but yet there's still going to be jobs that need to be done that people need to do, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Let's face it, let's be honest, the Anglo demographic is dying off, and they're not growing fast enough. And so one statistic right now is that when you take the Generation Z and the millennials and you add them up, that's a bigger demographic, Sam, than the baby boomers who have dominated, all these years, every segment of society. And so we are going through this transformation. And I'm glad that you talk about mentoring, preparing, educating a lot of these students that are coming right out of college or still in college, because the workplace is very different compared to the university. You have a lot of university students that come out with a degree that they think is worth something, but as you mentioned in one previous episode, it's like, take that to the bank and find out how much they will loan you on a degree, because it's really just fictitious that is worth something. Now, eventually it will be once you acquire the experience. Right. But it's like, it's good to have both the experience as well as the degree.
I agree. You have to have experience. And right now, there's a good book out there called The Generalist, Beating the Professionals.
Yes.
And because you know a little bit about everything, you're able to adapt and do a lot of things. So I think over 42 years, I've adapted to the different waves that come in for surfers. And now as a surfer, experienced surfer, I've been able to identify those waves in the market that I can open up opportunity.
Right now, it's been likened to the gold rush when it comes to AI and the future of a lot of industries, because it's disrupting so many different industries. And you're right at the cutting edge with a lot of what you're doing. Why don't you go ahead and tell our listeners and give them an update of what you're doing with your software system?
Oh, man, it is incredible what's going on with the software. And I laugh with a lot of people because I built the DOS program that Bill Gates bought for $50,000. And I say DOS because I really made it basic and easy for baby boomers like myself to use. And then all of a sudden, I got people that were using Python coding and different things that were using AI, and they started plugging in little pieces of the AI to it. So now I'm a hybrid. So I'm between DOS and Windows and Steve Jobs, and it just really, really took off. I'm really excited about the 6,000 people we done put on the system, and they're using it. And right now, I just threw it out there so people could use it and everything, and I'm not making a lot of money from it and exploiting it like people want me to do it. But in the next 90 days, from 6,000 people that stay there, even at $100 a pop and 3 users or 10 users, whatever we decided to give these companies to use, it's quite impressive what the numbers will total up. And now that we got the merchant account on there, oh my God, I had people from San Antonio yesterday. What do you mean you're going to pay me to have the Visa and MasterCard at my store? I've never gotten paid. They never even came out after they set it up.
Yeah.
And you're telling me I'm going to get paid? Oh my God, Sam, this is crazy. How are you doing this? And again, I don't have to make a paycheck from every single company I got. I just need to make $20, $40 from each thing, and all of a sudden I got a paycheck from all the different companies.
You're a follower of J.P. Getty.
Yes.
And his philosophy was, I would rather make $1 per well than $1,000 out of one well.
Yes.
And again, is that in marketing is called the long tail now. You need to have multiple streams of income because one or two is not going to do it. You have to have several streams. And again, you're not trying to get rich off of like other industries have gotten rich off of, one vertical product that they were just making money hand over fist. You're disrupting in the marketplace, making it affordable, and again, giving back to the business.
That's it. That's exactly it. It's all about giving back and really looking at the enjoyment of the faces that we're able to help.
Listeners, if you don't know anything about the software, we're going to have a link in the show notes. And this is a software, just briefly, Sam, give us an overview of what the software does.
It's a multi-platform where you can program it for insurance, taxes, real estate, diesel mechanic, framing, roofing, you name it. We can build the models inside the system that you can use at a very affordable price. Even if you're just getting started, we're here to work with you.
You have all kinds of perks, including, I think you told me previously about the cremation service.
Oh, the cremation service, yes, is coming soon to where we can offer the services through our membership. Everybody that we include in a tax return will be covered under this policy through our memberships.
So there's a lot of benefits, listeners, that you can go check out at LMS Solutions. And again, the link will be in the show note. Sam, is that enough show?
That's enough show. Let's wrap it up.
All right, friends. Until next week, go out and have a great week.